Hey, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you the AA word of the day. And today is going to be a little different. There are going to be two videos. The first video, since many of you may not be that familiar with the traditions, the steps are, quite well known. I'm going to list the long form of each of the tradition steps of AA. There is a long form and there is a short form. Usually the short form is said just for time, but it's good to mention it once. And if you're new or just coming back, if you never really studied these steps, the tradition steps, I think it would be a good idea to go over them, because the tradition is more for the group setting, and you'll see that how many times group is mentioned, or the organization of AA. So here are the 12 traditions of AA. Number 1, each member of Alcoholics Anonymous is but a small part of a great whole. AA must continue to live, or most of us will surely die. Hence our common welfare comes first, but individual welfare follows close afterwards. Number 2, for our group purpose there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. 3, our membership ought to include all who suffer from alcoholism. Hence we may refuse no one who wishes to recover. Nor ought AA membership ever depend upon money or conformity. Any 2 or 3 alcoholics gathered together for sobriety may call themselves an AA group, provided that, as a group, they have no other affiliation. 4, with respect to its own affairs, each AA group should be responsible to no other authority than its own conscience. When its plans concern the welfare of neighboring groups also, those groups ought to be consulted. And no group, regional committee, or individual should ever take any action that might greatly affect AA as a whole without conferring with the trustees of the General Service Board. On such issues, our common welfare is paramount. 5, each Alcoholics Anonymous group ought to be a spiritual entity having but one primary purpose, that of carrying its message to the alcoholic who still suffers. 6, problems of money, property, and authority may easily divert us from our spiritual aim. We think, therefore, that any considerable property of general use to AA should be separately incorporated and managed, thus dividing the material from the spiritual. An AA group, as such, should never go into business. Secondary aids to AA, such as clubs or hospitals, which require much property or administration, ought to be incorporated and set so apart that, if necessary, they can be freely discarded by the groups. Hence, such facilities ought not to use the AA name. Their management should be the sole responsibilities of those who financially support them. For clubs, AA managers are usually preferred, but hospitals, as well as other places of recuperation, ought to be well outside AA and medically supervised. While an AA group may cooperate with anyone, such cooperation ought never go so far as affiliation or endorsement, actual or implied. An AA group can bind itself to no one. 7, the AA groups themselves ought to be fully supported by the voluntary contributions of their own members. We think that each group should soon achieve this ideal, that any public solicitation of funds using the name of Alcoholics Anonymous is highly dangerous, whether by group, club, hospitals, or other outside agencies. That acceptance of large gifts from any source or of contributions carrying any obligation, whatever, is unwise. Then, too, we view with much concern those AA treasuries which continue beyond prudent reserves to accumulate funds for no stated AA purpose. Experience has often warned us that nothing can so destroy our spiritual heritage as feudal disputes over property, money, and authority. 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional. We define professionalism as the occupation of counseling alcoholics for fees or higher. But we may employ alcoholics where they are going to perform those services for which we may otherwise have had to engage non-alcoholics. Such special services may be well recompensed, but our usual AA 12-step work is never paid for. 9. Each AA group needs the least possible organization. Rotating leadership is best. The small group may elect its secretary, the large group its rotating committee, and the groups of large metropolitan area their central or intergroup committees, which often employ a full-time secretary. The trustees of the General Service Board are in effect our AA General Service Committee. They are the custodians of our AA tradition and the receivers of voluntary AA contributions, by which we maintain our AA General Service Office. They are authorized by the groups to handle our overall public relations, and they guarantee the integrity of our principal newspaper, the AA Grapevine. All such representatives are to be guided in the spirit of service, for true leaders in AA are but trusted and experienced servants of the whole. They derive no real authority from their titles. They do not govern. Universal respect is the key to their usefulness. Number 10. No AA group or member should ever, in such a way as to implicate AA, express any opinion on outside controversial issues, particularly those of politics, alcohol reform, or sectarian religion. The Alcoholics Anonymous group oppose no one. Concerning such matters, they can express no views whatever. 11. Our relations with the general public should be characterized by personal anonymity. We think AA ought to avoid sensational advertising. Our names and pictures as AA members ought not to be broadcast, filmed, or publicly printed. Our public relations should be guided by the principles of attraction rather than promotion. There is never need to praise ourselves. We find it better to let our friends recommend us. 12. And finally, we of Alcoholics Anonymous believe that the principle anonymity has an immense spiritual significance. It reminds us that we are to place principles before personalities, that we are actually to practice a genuine humility. This to the end that our great blessings may never spoil us, that we shall ever live in a thankful contemplation of Him who presides over us all. And those are the 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, if you do not have a copy of those, you can go to the AA.org website, and it would be on the 12 traditions, under 12 traditions. And as I mentioned, you can see this is management of AA at the group level. And the importance of anonymity and not getting a big head, not a wealthy group in some community accumulating lots of money. Maybe at some point I'll go over each step for those of you not familiar with them, and try to give an explanation of what it means and why you don't want to have too much money, but you want to have enough. You want to have what they call a prudent reserve, so that if donations go down, you can still rent the facility that you're in. So I'll pick up in the next video. It will be We Stand or Fall Together. And that's in one of the traditions. And it'll be dated the same day as this, the 16th of September 2024. Have a good day.